I wanted to go into some subjects, but here's the issue. I can tell you right now, if I discussed one of them in depth, it would raise the fear element, which is why probably I was led to talk about fear tonight. Because when people experience fear, they stop knowledge from going forward. They do. They don't want to talk about anything that could be utilized so they have an understanding of their environment. You guys have seen that happen. You've seen it happen. You've seen people so afraid. They're so, I don't want to hear about that. That's useless, but the truth is, people are afraid of it. And they shouldn't be afraid. We should be able to see and look the enemy right in the face. And at some point, because you guys are going to be directly exposed to it, we will discuss a myriad of classifications of these things people are seeing so that you know what they are, what the colors mean. Believe it or not, the colors mean something. They operate in predefined ways. How many of you know that one? And many of them do gather like vultures before a disaster. But a lot of people are going to have heart attacks from seeing them. Why? Because they reject seeing their own environment. Yet the same individuals will say, Lord, open my eyes, which is why they can't see the spiritual realm. Many people can't see that because if they did, does anybody know the consequence of seeing the spiritual realm? Anybody? This will let you know if somebody has understanding or not. Well, let me tell you beforehand. It doesn't matter who you are. If you see things in the spiritual realm, from that day forward, you're going to be pursued. And if you slip, you're going to be hit hard. In other words, for you to see into that realm means everything in that realm can see you. They take notice of you. They will pursue you. And if you ever turn away from the Lord, you're in danger. That's why the young often see trickery, but they don't see into the spiritual realm. God doesn't give them sight of specific things. Why? Because they get so easily turned away. It's just like Sodom and Gomorrah. And the Lord told us about sin. Once you depart from sin, sin will pursue you. But if you ever turn around, you could easily be consumed. That's why backsliding can be so dangerous, very dangerous. That's why people are given over to reprobate minds. Do you guys know about that? That's why there's a threat of having your name blotted out of the Lamb's Book of Life. Not for just any cause or reason, but for a person turning away. That's what the falling away is. That falling away, when Paul said there must come a falling away first, and then that man of perdition will be revealed. But there must come a falling away first. That falling away are those who turn around, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, and they're gone. They're going to be given over to a reprobate mind, to believe in those sinful, unholy ways that they have are the correct ways. That's what a reprobate mind is. A reprobate mind is a mind that believes in very iniquitous things. In the Bible, it gives specific references to a reprobate mind. And those people They're unmerciful, implacable, without natural affection, covenant breakers, disobedient, inventors of evil things, proud, spiteful, haters of God, backbiters, whisperers. They're full of mischievous things. They like to quarrel and debate. They like to decoy and bait, which is deceit. They like to murder. They're full of envy. They're malicious, full of trouble. They're covetousness. They're greedy and full of wickedness, which is plots. That's what they are. God gives them over to it. That means people are going to be lost to their sinful nature. They continue to walk in. And when that day comes, the number will be complete. Because when people listen, there's one thing, there's a reason why that man of perdition does not come lest there come a falling away first. You ready? When people begin to fall away, something has happened to forgiveness. When God gives people over to a reprobate mind, a number has been complete. That's why people have not fallen away in large numbers yet. They're close to it, but they haven't fallen away. There's still an opportunity. When they start falling away, they don't come back. That's when God said he would send them a strong delusion that they would believe a lie, that they all might be damned who had pleasure in unrighteousness and loved not the truth. So if he's given people over to their sinful nature instead of redeeming them, then the number's complete. Can't you see that? That's why no one who's written in the book of life will take the mark of the beast. That's why no one who's written in the book of life will worship the beast. If your name is in the book of life, you will not worship the beast. You will not take the mark. Hint, hint. At any rate. Again, if we were to discuss some very in-depth subjects, it would raise fear unless someone seriously considers tonight's topic. You don't have to be afraid. You really don't have to be afraid. You have dealt with everything already. You just don't know the sources of those things you've dealt with. You know what the sources of those things that you've been dealing with all your life are? For the most part, they are those hidden things, those seductive spirits, those things from the sky. And let me clue you in on something. Angels have a tangible job, just like the watchers. Do you guys know that the watchers that fell were replaced by obedient watchers, of whom Daniel spoke of? It's in the book of Daniel. The watchers are mentioned. Their sins went forward. Sometimes, people have seen some interactions with them. Believe it or not, there have been angelic figures who have worn governmental powers. And there have been deceivers who have walked right into governmental places. Are the governments aware of this? Of course they are. But what can they do about it? They've been given advisements. And certain governments sold out for something. You're going to learn about that in the days and months to come. You're going to learn about it because they're going to spill the whole thing, washing their hands of it, putting it all on your plate. I'm telling you what I know. They're going to put it on you next. They're going to wash their hands of it like they were just innocent, like all the guilty people are gone. You want to know a truth? A truth is they know they have been deceived also. They can extract the truth. Any subject anybody has ever talked about regarding abduction and they were on a telephone, their phones have been tapped. Not so they could look into the person. They want to know about what the person learned. Sometimes people give the government too much credit. This world is governed by spiritual authorities. Man is a pawn in a spiritual game for the most part. Not you. You're the redeemed. You are the redeemed. You are by no means random on this earth. You are highly purposed. You are the reason for this earth. But the others who said no on a consistent basis, the others who have given over their own power of choice, who follow evil like zombies, you give them too much credit. Too much credit. And some of them are terrified to give their life over to Christ. That's something you don't know. When I hear people criticize certain folks in power, sometimes I cringe. Some of those folks are so terrified of evil that they really do believe that if they do anything regarding Christ, they're going to be stuck in a perpetual torment, and so are their children and families. These folks are under the gun, highly pressured, and they're scared to death every day of their lives. The freedom you perceive by way of television, it has massive overtones of fear. God works in freedom and love, not fear. Satan does what he does by way of fear. That's how he works. Somebody says, what can we do for them? You can pray. Just as the Lord instructed us to. A heart toward them, and your Father can hear. Many hearts toward them, and your Father will intervene. That's up to you. That's part of your charge. Don't you know that? It takes the ones who have been abused by evil to intercede for the ones who agreed with evil. They can make a difference in their lives, and that's why your Father told you to pray. There are certain authorities that you have, but you've got to believe the Word so you understand these things about yourselves. You don't have to make anything up. You don't have to even try to act important. You're critical. You've been important from day one. But you're just now learning who you really are. Your identity is not the world. Your name is not what you tell everybody else. You are, in fact, what the world has never seen. You see the job we have before us? Holds a little more responsibility than once perceived, huh? You make a difference in other folks' lives. You decide. Many things you'll decide. God gave his children dominion and spiritual authority over a great many things. But if Satan can keep you from believing wholeheartedly in the Lord's truth, you won't find yourself. You'll never exercise those authorities in righteousness. You'll never be effective against darkness in this world, and there's still time. That time is short. That time is ending, but there's still time.